6 years ago, I started my walk with the Lord. This year makes 7. And I don't find it a coincidence that we came across this verse. I'm going to read it to you. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years. But in the 7th year, he shall go free without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife, when he comes, she is to go with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. I repeat, if the servant declares, I love my master and my wife and children and do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judges, before God. He shall take him to the door or the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. And that's a little sharp, pointy object. Then he will be his servant for life. Speaking of being a servant for life, man, when I first got in tune with the Lord, man, that was, like I said, 6 years ago. Like, I remember meeting him when I was in the hospital. More so, I didn't have language. I remember being in the hospital when I was holding my daughter, and she was freshly newborn, just holding this little person in the palm of my hands, just a little adorable little did. I ain't gonna say act like I was the happiest, because I'm telling you, boy, I was sleepy. But either way, when I was holding my daughter, I remember hearing these thoughts in my mind of like, don't allow her to grow up like how you did. Give her something different. I'm like, what is this? Like, why do I want to give her something different? I said, no, I don't want her to grow up the way I did. I do want to give her something different. And then I remember making a declaration like, okay, and this is before I really even knew what I was saying. I'm like, okay, Lord, if you want me to read, if you want me to get in tune, you're going to have to pull up on me where I'm at. Little behold, he pulled up game was strong. He tires screeching, flaming wheels, like. And from that moment of like a year later, not even a year later, some months later, we end up joining All Nations Worship Assembly, and I gotta tell you, man, we ain't turned back ever since. But now I feel like I'm left with a choice. I don't find it a coincidence to be in my 7th year, and for the last 7, maybe 4 or 5 years, I have done a fast, to seek him out and seek his will, right? But I don't find it a coincidence now on the 7th year, I come across this verse during the fast and feel like I'm left with a choice. Whereas, am I going to stay or am I going to leave? Like, real life gotta like take this time to like reflect on our journey and make a decision. Did I really grow? Am I really where I think I am? Well, if I'm putting that based upon where I desire to be, then I would have been left. But I believe he's got me where exactly he needs me to be, because I have been developing internally, as far as like character development, as far as like in ways that I can scream on how I've never heard this type of language, as far as like learning and working about principles, learning how to love and things of that nature, like just learning his ways. It had to start from within. And the fact that it started from within is now showing itself out, as far as like, as he would say, the fruit is now, fruiting, if that's a word. The fruit is coming out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm literally at that point in my life where I have to make a decision. Am I going to stay or am I going to leave? And looking back to where I used to be before I came, nah, G, I'm not going back. What did it say in the last verse? the servant had a realization. I love my master, my wife, and my children. And I'm like, I love them. So I don't want to go nowhere. I desire to go up because even though at times I may be at my lowest, he's still holding me up. Before that, I was on my own. Couldn't recognize his voice, couldn't recognize none of that. But now that I'm here in him, with him, he helps me even when I'm at my lowest. And I'm like, why would I leave? Why would I leave? Nah, yeah, nah. I see the fruit. I see the benefits. I'm cool. I ain't leaving. I ain't going nowhere. I'm like, Lord, I'm right here. Here, G. I'm following you. I definitely don't feel like I'm stuck at all. I definitely don't feel like I'm stuck. So this year, I decided to go all in. I decided to go all in. You know, I'm submitted and committed because I have not been the greatest of being faithful over the years. And this verse says, I believe it's a verse that says, when we are unfaithful, he remains faithful. So even when I made New Year's resolutions and said, I'm going to do this differently. Oops. Even when I made New Year's resolutions, I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. My consistency wasn't lining up. But I feel like learning from him was about decision making, making choices, and being consistent. He is teaching me consistency. And so I have to make a decision whether to follow him or leave. And so like I said, I'm committed, submitted, and I'm going all in. I'm going all in this year, submitted and committed. So I look forward really to see at the end of the year, as far as like where we are and how far have we gone. Because what it say? We walk by faith and not by sight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's to come, but I give thanks and I'm grateful that I get to follow him in the process to go up, to climb up the mountains. You enabled my feet to climb the mountains like a deer, G. You know what I'm saying? For years, I've been confident, but there were areas in my life that I was still operating in a lukewarm spirit. That means I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out, really, not really taking my assignments seriously. Like I was like that one story that Jesus told about that guy, that one talent, the guy with the one talent. He ain't do nothing with his talent. He decided to hide it, the gift, money bag talent. He said, yo, I'm gonna go hide this joint. I was like that guy. And in most areas of my life, I used to hide it. And so I was more so, what created that lukewarm spirit was more so worried about what other people think. And the Bible says, like, fear of man becomes a snare. You don't move. You're not moving. So I'm grateful to decide to go all in. I'm deciding to go all in and follow him. To get up out that snare, because the Bible says perfect love drives out fear. Yes, because fear has to do with punishment, but his love help us to walk in boldness. Something like that. It's gonna be up there. I didn't have enough light in me, you know what I'm saying, of him to really walk as a light in the world as he has called us to be. I didn't have enough light per se. And so, but the more time I spent with him, the more light I received, the more boldness you start walking in. At first, it wasn't like that. I didn't have that much light. But he has been gracious. He has been gracious and faithful, even when I was unfaithful. And so now I feel like he has brought me into this decision: be faithful to him, follow him wholeheartedly, or walk away. Nah, G, I ain't walking away, G. I am definitely going all in, following his steps. You know what I'm saying? Every little step I take, real talk, you will be there. I'm gonna be there for real. And so this is just documentation for myself of like being able to give myself to look back at the journey of where I started this year, deciding to go all in and see where we're gonna end up at the end of the year. We walk by faith and not by sight. I don't know. but I do know I follow him because he says, I am the light of the world, and whoever follows me shall never walk in darkness. So I'm with it, committed, submitted. So let me encourage you. Let me encourage you. I've made a decision to go all in. I can't make the decision for you, but let me encourage you to make a decision. Make a firm decision to go all in. Choose to go all in, because when you go all in for him, he already went all the way in for you. And I say that because the Bible says God so loved the world that he gave his one and only begotten son. And it says through him all things were made. So imagine God surgically removed his heart, because it is through him all things were made, and he gave us his heart. He went all in. He went all in, died on the cross, lived for us a perfect life that he didn't have to live, chose to die for us, a death he didn't have to do, but he decided to go all in. And at the end, he said, it is finished. And that wasn't in the story. He rose up again. He said, I'm up here. So if he decided to go all in for us, who am I to say I should not try to go all in for him? This message may not be for you in the moment, and you might be still operating in lukewarm. But I encourage you, let him take you by the hand and walk with you. Step by step, I promise you he'll never disappoint. Well, that's it. Go all in. You got this. You got this. I look forward to seeing what your journey look like at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.